Hello friends, I'm Pradeep, Chartered Accountant by profession. As you all aware, on 1st Feb, Union Budget was tabled in the Parliament. As soon as we hear the word budget, the most important thing that will be running in our mind is there any changes in the basic exemption limit? Will I get any additional benefit under ATC? Is there any changes in the tax rates, etc. and etc. As a taxpayer, we want to know answer for all this, which is good and well enough. But beyond the taxation, there are various other information that is also available in the budget. There are various other documents apart from the money bill, that is fiscal bill, in which the taxations are prescribed, are also presented in the budget. So I'm planning to do a series of video in which I will be breaking down the various documents that are presented in the budget and what are the key highlights of that. And as a business owner, employee, or as a self-employed, what are the takeaways for us and how we can use this to benefit our well-being. In today's video, let's try to understand what is the overview of those other documents that are also presented in the budget. Okay. So where we can find those documents, indiabudget.gov.in. This is the government official website. This is the place where they will be uploading all the documents related to union budget, and even we can change this language to Hindi to view all those documents in Hindi. So the first document that we can see here is the speech in English. So Nirmala Sitharaman, she gives 90 minutes of speech that we can download and see in a Word file. That also we can do. And then there are other documents also there. The first document is the key to budget document 2022. So if you open those documents, so they have said there are 12 list of documents that are presented in the union budget, right, besides finance minister's budget speech. So we can broadly categorize these 12 set of documents in three buckets. One, I would say it's a mandatory document or it's a primary document. That is, it consists of annual financial statements, demand for grant, and finance bill. This finance bill is where the taxation is spoken about. And the second bucket is those documents that are prescribed under FRPM Act, Fiscal Responsibility and Budget Management Act. And the third bucket is the supporting documents. These are the documents which will help us to get more understanding about the primary documents. Okay. So annual financial statements. This is where you would get the split of the annual financial statements, and here you could see revenue account, capital account, revenue receipts, disbursements, revenue account disbursements, capital account disbursements. So what does it mean? So the financial statement, as the name signifies, it is similar to the P&L and balance sheet what corporates prepare, but here the government, they don't prepare P&L and balance sheet as a two different item, two different financials. Instead they would be preparing one single document. There they will be mentioning what are the various sources through which they will be sourcing the money. There is a side, and the other side is disbursement. That is where they want to deploy their money. And difference between these two is the deficit. That is what we hear all across the media. The fiscal deficit that they talk of as a percentage of GDP is nothing but the difference between this receipts and expenditure. So the balance they would be sourcing from borrowings. So borrowings also has various categories that we would see in the upcoming videos. So this annual financial statements is broadly categorized into three. One is consolidated fund of India, another one is contingency fund of India, and the third one is public account of India. Consolidated fund of India is the mother of all accounts. This is where all the revenues, tax revenues as well as non-tax revenues, are raised, and all the expenditures, like whatever expense that the government wants to make through various ministries, are also laid out in this document, and all those expenditure has to be authorized by the parliament. Without authorization, no money can be removed from this consolidated fund of India for expenditure. And the second one is contingency fund of India. This is a kind of as the name signifies, this is a kind of a fund which government can use without getting an approval from parliament. To use any money from consolidated fund of India, as I said, we require parliament approval. Let's say due to any emergency kind of situation where we don't have a time to take an approval from parliament, then we can use this fund. That is what is called as contingency fund of India. As of now, 30,000 crore is there in this account. And the third one is the public account of India. These are the monies which are held by government in trust. It means what? The provident fund and small saving collections, whatever as a public we have having an account, right? So all those things are held in the name of government, but they are holding it as a trust, right? So anytime if you want to withdraw those money, they have to pay back to us. But till then, those monies will be with the government. So those accounts are maintained under this public account of India. Okay, so even you can open any of this document and you can see the sources through which the governments are raising money. So this is GST, the taxes on income and expenditure, corporation tax, and taxes on properties, taxes on commodities, so on and so forth. Okay, so of this entire union budget, if you want to get a holistic picture, you can download this budget highlights, key features. It is just a 17-page document. This is all enough. If we are able to understand each and everything that is said in the 17 page, we are good. We are well enough. We can say that we are experts in budget. That's how the things are. So here, if you see the GDP, they have shown in Q1 how it has fallen. It has reached 25 lakh crore, and again it has risen back to 37, 38 lakh crores. So all those informations we can get from here. This is the trend in deficits. We just now we spoke, right? Is there any difference between the revenue receipts and capital revenue expenditure that would be sourced by way of borrowings? So this is what is called as trend in deficits. So the deficits was at its peak during 2021 due to lockdown caused by the corona, and thereafter it was coming to a normal level. And here we can also get a lot of pictures about the CPI and WPI inflations, which we will discuss in depth in the upcoming videos. So this is one important slide I just want you to take a look at. So here they are consolidating everything. They are saying the rupee comes from these many resources, and percentage of revenue that they are getting from each resource. You see, the borrowings alone is constituting 35% of the total receipts, right? And income tax is 15%, corporation tax is 15%, which we add these two, it is itself is coming around 30%, right? And GST is for 16%. So 46% they are collecting from direct and indirect tax, and even indirect tax, if we include this customs, it is coming around more than 50%, right? And then 35% is from borrowings. Okay, and then here they are mentioning the rupees goes to. So what are the sectors in which the government wants to deploy the money is also being given here, right? Here they have said the budgeted plans. Okay, this is the trend of the revenue receipts. So if you take the annual financial statements, there will be four columns in this. Okay, one is called as actual, the another one is budget estimate, revised estimate, and budget estimate for 22-23. What this means is this is for actual for 2020-2021, right? In 2020-2021, what is the actual number of expenditure or the receipts that government has done? And this is the budget estimate for last financial year, or sorry, this is the budget estimate for the ongoing financial year 21-22, and they are revising this ongoing financial year's budget, and this is the budget estimate for the upcoming financial year. There's one more document called budget at glance. This is also a very interesting document. Here also you can get a lot of information in a very summarized manner. So here you can find about the revenue receipts, capital receipts, everything in one single page. If you take any annual financial statements, it will have four columns. So the first column would talk about the actual number for 2020 and 2021, that is previous financial year. And the second column would be about budget estimate for 21-22, that is for ongoing financial year. So this is the estimate that was done while presenting the budget last year Feb, right? And this is the revised estimate. So they are revising the estimate for the ongoing financial year, and this is for the this is the budget that we are talking about for the upcoming financial year 22-23. So the second document that would be presented in the annual budget is the demand for grant. So we saw in the annual financial statement on the expenditure side that they would enlist the various areas in which the ministries wants to make expense, So all those things they would put in a single document. Each ministry they will be putting in single document, and they will be presenting in front of the parliament for taking an approval. So as I said, any funds to be taken out of consolidated fund of India, we need parliament's approval. This is done through this document that is called demand for grant. So in budget 2022, in total there were one or two grants were made. Okay. So the third one is the finance bill or the money bill document. So this is where the taxation are topped off. So here you can find three taxation. One is income tax, customs, and the indirect tax. So here only they will be talking about the amendments and is there any changes in the tax structure or any remissions or any alterations. All those things are discussed under this document. And the document number 4, that is these are the documents that is specified under FRBM Act. So here they would we would get more interesting facts about the economy. So what is the fiscal deficit, what is the revenue deficit as a percentage of GDP, how it works out, and etc. and etc. So and they also would be giving the trend for the next 3 years also. Here we are, right. So these are the documents that are flowing from this FRBM Act. And the last one is the supporting documents. It has in total 8 supporting documents, that is expenditure budget. They would give more information about capital expenditure or revenue expenditure budget that we saw in the beginning, and receipt budget same way. They would give further analysis about the receipts, whatever sources that they are earning the receipt, they would give one or two line extra information about that, right. And then this expenditure profile is most important and most critical one that I would say. Here they would be giving the reason for change in the estimates, or why the actual has turned out to be something different than estimated, right. So here only we can get more sense about where we are going wrong, right, where we are losing the revenue, and how are we compensating that with the other source of revenue. And the budget at glance, we saw this document which gives a holistic picture about the entire budget. And then memorandum explaining the provision in finance bill. So this finance bill, that is the money bill, which talks about the taxation, where several amendments will be done. So all those amendments, detailed explanation would be given in this document, explaining the reason why we are coming out with this amendment, what areas would be affected due to this amendment, and who is the beneficiary of this amendment. All those things we can get more detail about it. And output outcome monitoring framework. This is also one of the most interesting document. It, it goes like 297 pages. So under each scheme, how much is the output that they are planning to achieve for 22-23, and by doing the same, what are the outcomes of the same? So all those informations we can find under this document, which we will discuss in detail in the upcoming videos. And then the key features of the budget. Again, it is also a kind of summary pamphlet, through which we can know a broad idea about the budget. And implementation of budget announcement. How are we planning to implement all those things? So to summarize, these are the 12 documents that we saw in today's video. And of this, these 3 are the most important thing. Of that, I would say this annual financial statement is the crux. Just a day before the budget, one more critical document would be presented, that is called as survey. Okay, so that one also we can find from the same website, Economic Survey 21-22. This also gives us a lot of information about the various areas, how the India has performed in the last 1 year, industry infra prices and inflations, how we have turned out, etc. So we can even have a separate video on the same. I request you to support my YouTube channel so that I can post the series of videos about this budget in the upcoming week. Thank you so much.